Oh, hi there! Yeah, you were probably expecting me to make a new video or something about Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl, but there's a tiny problem with that. There's nothing new to talk about with that one. So, instead, we're dialing it back one step and taking a look at Generation 5. I mainly just wanted to get my thoughts out there on the 5th generation of Pokemon, since for me, it was one of the more memorable ones. Now, don't take that to mean that I've converted from being a Gen 4 suck-up to a Gen 5 stan like you want me to be, but rather take it as more of a stance or opinion. I think there's a difference to be made when talking about what's the best compared to your favorites or what you like more. Gen 5 for me hits that best, in my opinion, rather than being crowned my next favorite. Basically saying it's something you can admit is better, but you may not like it purely because it's better. And for those who care, spoilers are inbound, so let's get on with my thoughts. The Unova Saga. Black, White, Black 2, White 2. What did they do that made them better? For starters, the Pokemon were entirely different and unique, veering closer to what I think are what you typically see in more traditional JRPGs, losing this sense of familiarity. Of which, I think that worked out to its advantage. It was around that time that I heard a bunch of fans saying that Pokemon was getting to feel too alike one another, that there was nothing different about the next upcoming games compared to the last. And to some degree, yeah, I would kind of agree. Not that I would ever give up Pokemon, of course. The basic story was always about some 10-year-old child receiving their own Pokemon, leaving home, facing the dangers of the world, claiming gym badges from experienced trainers with little to no experience of their own, fighting an evil organization that is clearly out of their league, and becoming the Pokemon League champion. And that's all the story shaped itself up to be. Not that it's incredibly different when talking about the Unova games, but they're made different enough to be distinguished apart from the others. While the story is relatively similar to the previous games, there's a different element really making you question if what Team Plasma is doing is actually the right thing or not. Liberating Pokemon from people and whatnot. Well, I mean, at least until the end of the game, where that concept is just flipped to be the take over the world plot. But for the most part, the themes of the games that are mentioned are the fight between truths versus ideals, which was interesting to me. You really started to see their big attempt at storytelling for a Pokemon game. It's that message that nothing is completely black and white, and yes or no. At least that's what I've gathered from it. I think it does a decent job at it too. Gets us having this mask that says Team Plasma and him are trying to free Pokemon of their supposed suffering from all the Pokemon trainers, saying that they should be free and live apart from one another. In which N, the king of Team Plasma, thought it was true because he could hear the voices of Pokemon and thought that was what they were saying. As you progress through the region, you see small cracks in N's belief in himself and Getsus, where he starts to notice the connection that you and your Pokemon have, and N slowly changes his mind about things. The whole liberation thing is turned out to be a sham, and it's revealed that Getsus was just goading Team Plasma into making people release their Pokemon so he could have them instead to, you guessed it, rule over the world. I should also mention that his hidden agenda, I think, was blown too early. At the beginning of the game, there's an area that is a part of the main quest called the Dream Yard. You go there after clearing the first gym and hearing a Muna cry for help. There you find 2 Team Plasma grunts, and after you beat them, a Musharna appears showing the illusion of 2 Getsus to get the runts running off. However, before that, the grunts mention one Getsus is gathering new followers for Team Plasma, and the other Getsus controlling people by tricking them with speeches, of which we saw one in the Cumula Town. So his cover was sort of cracked really early, and because of it, it made the ending come out weaker than it really should have. Nevertheless, I digress, since to date, it probably is the most involved story there's ever been in a mainline series Pokemon game. What happens when the Pokemon game's story is covered? I mean, guess we've got nothing else to do other than just talk about the gameplay instead. Alrighty, so Unova! Black and White always seem like the games to reboot the series, or at least steer away from bringing back older Pokemon. Heck, You can't even see any older ones until you unlock the post-game. Personally though, I like this choice, since it meant you had to learn about the newer Pokemon and try them out instead of essentially resorting to your favorites all the time. And while, yes, picking favorites might make or break your experience with the game, I think trying new things out for an adventure is a nice change of pace and refreshing. Although, what was weird to me was that most of the designs don't really give off the aura of being Pokemon. To me, it seemed like they were trying to retcon the series as a whole, yet they ended up with the designs completely in the likeness of just plain objects. Obviously, people will throw around the examples of the Vanillite, Litwick, and Trubbish evolutionary lines. The point still stands that they don't really look Pokemon-esque. At least to me. But believe me, I do like most of the Pokemon introduced in Gen 5. But then there's Stunfisk. Anyhow, even if some of the designs come off as unoriginal, or very obvious evolution is something else but actually isn't, they're pretty wacky and interesting with their own charm. It's pretty similar in my head when you look at something like a Alolan Exeggutor, or something similar. It feels different, but also weirdly familiar. Gen 5 brings that element of a spice into the national decks, and in that right, I commend it. Now, of course, the Pokemon in this game do come from a region, and Unova does not disappoint whatsoever. The towns and cities are filled with life and energy, and not a single city feels unintentionally empty. But man, the best thing about the entire game is one of the best soundtracks in the series. Of course, in my opinion. But I have a feeling that a lot of you might agree as well. Hottest tracks will include Driftveil City, Nacrene City, Dragon Spiral Tower, versus Gym Leader, both versions of Opelucid City. I mean, those are just the ones that are coming to me right now, but I can assure you there is no shortage of absolute awesomeness in this soundtrack. Not only are they good on their own, but when accompanied by their city, town, aesthetic, or scenario, it draws out the moment to its highest potential and makes those times in the game more memorable even years after you play the game. But man, those are just some examples, I tell you. If I had to recommend one track to listen to, if you were a fan of the final versus end battle theme, then you should check out a track from the OST called End to the N. It's a great listen. Last thing I want to touch on for this video are the characters. The characters in this game are great because they are actual characters, and to prove that, you need to look no further than the first gym leader, or should I say the first gym leaders. Nevertheless, the first gym leaders, Chili, Cress, and Silent, are all stationed inside of a gym that is restaurant themed, or so it may seem themed like one. Believe it or not, it is just straight up a restaurant, and they are the cooks. This brings more life into the Pokemon world, I think. Before, gym leaders were just people you fought for the sake of claiming their badges for the road to the Pokemon League. Now though, there was an actual effort in giving these characters their own lives outside of being just a gym leader. It doesn't just stop at the first gym leader either. Lenora, the gym leader of the Nacrene gym, is an archaeologist, and her gym is a literal museum. The fourth gym leader, Elisa, is a fashion model, and while that is better represented in the sequels Black 2 and White 2, her gym in those games is an actual fashion runway. What I'm saying is, Gamefreak didn't have to go the extra mile to add details to these characters, but yet they did. And that cannot go understated, because this gives the world so much more life than, I would say, any other mainline series Pokemon game. Not only are we given characterization and just overall world building, those same gym leaders are actually given relevance in the main story! How they are aware of the looming threat of Team Plasma and don't just sit around and do nothing about it. Like, damn! In the previous games, there would be an evil organization trying to take over the world, overflowing or overheating the world, or trying to erase a world and creating an entirely new one. Where are all the damn adults? Or at least the gym leaders. You are some of the most powerful trainers in the region, yet you're relying on some 10-year-old child to do all the work and not helping a single bit. This is why I commend the Unova Saga so much. When times are dire, you see the gym leaders grouping up and trying to prevent it from happening. And they even leave their post as gym leaders one time in Ent Castle for the final confrontation. Oh, this game makes me wish Gamefreak could develop characters as good as this again. Gym leaders aside, the rivals are great too, with their own level of development throughout the entire story. You've got Charen, who is the analytical type who is striving to become the Pokemon League champion, but has his own shortcoming of letting that goal overcome him and make him lose sight of what is actually possible for him in the current moment. And your other rival, Bianca, starts off having trouble with her own goals, wondering if being a Pokemon trainer is really the right choice for her, which is emphasized by her father worrying about her, but later discovers that she can make her own contributions to the world even if it's not by direct battles, and finds her own strength through it. If nothing else, you have to at least admit that the characterization in these games are the best in the entire series. I found that it didn't overstay its welcome, but complemented the games really well. Never was it annoying to me, or overly tedious to sit through the text. Other games like Sun and Moon had an attempt to expand on character stories. Granted, it was good, but the times I felt like I was reading a book instead of playing a game with how much the game was just text over gameplay was just too much for me. I play a game to actually play the game. If I'd wanted to read a novel, I'd go boot up the Alola games. Anyhow, Gen 5 is great. Thank you for this masterpiece of a generation, Gamefreak. Hey everybody! Now that you've made it to the end of the video, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe and ring the bell if you loved it and would love to see more. And actually, if you want to see me do a mini part 2 on just purely Black 2 and White 2, please make sure to do so to let me know that you do. Thanks for watching.